Hello and a very warm welcome to the TNC Podcast. You join us on the 20th of October. One would assume that Norwich City would have won at home by now. One would be very, very wrong. Chris Reeve, delight to see you again.
I'm not delighted to see you. I honestly don't, Lord forgive me for I have sinned. I don't know what I've done to be in this position.
In general.
Yeah. I am honestly dreading this today because...
Oh, mate, you're with your best mate.
No, mate, I'll tell you why.
Our football club.
I'll tell you why, Jack, because I'll open up with a bit of honesty, right? In our position, right, and I'm not making it all about us and da-da-da-da, but we just have this massive responsibility today to, just say it how it is, and I know full well that by the end of this podcast, we won't be getting Christmas cards from the football club. I think that possibly some relationships will be in jeopardy after today. So I'm a bit like, right, here we go. But I say it with conviction because we have to say it as it is today, Jack, because 6 losses in a row at home is not acceptable. It's not acceptable. And I'm sure we'll laugh today, if not we'll cry, but holy fuck, are we in a bad position?
It's we are, and it's going to be a pretty brutal hour, I think. I was walking out of Carrow and had a lovely conversation with a couple of gents who opened up with a comment in jest, and they went, "God, I bet you're glad about this, Jack. Views will be up."
Oh,
and they were joking. It was
right,
fine,
okay.
but that's wrong. And I spent the day for a couple of different reasons with Robbie from AFTV on Friday, who Arsenal are going through a bit of a purple patch at the moment. And, their channel and their company is doing the best it's ever done because they're doing well. There is this theory around football fan channels that it's better for them when the club is doing worse.
Yeah.
And there might be a little spike when there's a bit of anger and a bit of frustration, and sure. But, trust me, if we end up in League One and I'm filming match previews for our game against Gillingham, they are not going to be as well viewed as if we were in the Premier League playing Manchester United, right? That's just a fact.
Yeah.
So we are not benefiting off of this. And let me tell you, the No Papa, No Party t-shirts are not selling at the moment. Right? So that's taking a hit.
I almost wore one today. Well, and also the point as well, Jack, is say for example, that views did go up, right?
Yeah.
I tell you what goes down, our mental health.
Well, that.
Because seriously, because of the pressure that the club is under, we then therefore come under pressure too, because people want their opinions heard. And by the way, let me bloody agree with you, mate. And normally our question segment is we try, obviously we're filming this in the morning, early Mondays always, but I really want to try and get through as many as possible today, Jack, so people can really be heard, rather than just kind of capping it to a certain degree. We really want to get through as many as possible.
Well, what we could do is we could come up with the answers and then consult the fans afterwards. Norwich City have lost their 6th consecutive game, this time to Liam Manning's former side, Bristol City, 1-0. That means that Norwich have become the 6th team to lose their opening 5 home fixtures in the Championship/Division 1 in the last 30 years. 4 of those 5 were relegated in that season. Let's not get this twisted.
Thanks to NCF's numbers for that.
Let's not get this twisted. Norwich are very much in a relegation battle. There is no other way of painting this picture. Norwich City are staring League One down the barrel. We have been doing this channel since 2012. And yes, Norwich have been in League One before. It was a very different time in football then. We have never, ever uttered that sentence on this podcast. Norwich City are staring League One down the barrel, Chris.
Yes, we are. And let me
roll my sleeves up.
Look, what I want to say, Jack, is it's only 10 games in, right? It's only 10 games in. But I've got really kind of not much to cling on to, hope for, believe in, trust in at the moment to kind of come back to you on that and challenge it. If things keep going in this direction, the American owners are going to be in for an extremely rude awakening. I really fear, Jack, that we're just going to continue grunting this out until January. And I think that is a very dangerous, thing to play. I think it's a very dangerous thing to play. But I just, on the relegation thing, mate, and like I maybe to go into Bristol City first before we do the bigger picture, is that I looked at that performance, Jack, and don't get me wrong, it would be disingenuous for me to say that I wasn't already seeing certain things and going, that's not good. But that Bristol City game, there was so many elements of how we went about our business where I thought, shit, we're in trouble.
Was that the first time you've properly felt that?
It hit me. Yeah. Against Bristol City, it hit me because, to be honest, I thought that we'd kind of put a plaster over it temporarily until players came back and thought, it'll be all right. And then now I look at it and I think with each and every passing game, we lose confidence. It is the least fit Norwich City squad I think I don't think I'm over exaggerating this. I think I've ever seen.
Baffling.
I think I've ever seen.
And Jakov
and this
Medic,
is before we get into tactics.
Jakov Medic going down with cramp after 75 minutes.
After international break.
And actually, I'm going to have a shout out for Paddy Davitt because I thought his assessment on everything Norwich at the moment is bang on. And he said the most ironic thing with Jakov Medic going down with cramp is he doesn't run anyway. How the fuck have we got to a position after an international break, Chris, where we've got players going down with cramp in that manner of display?
Well, Jack,
it's shocking.
Well, Jack, to speculate, maybe there's more niggling injuries that we don't know about. Maybe they're having to play some of these players that have got little niggles because there's already eight players out injured. And I don't know, and forgive me for speculating, and maybe I don't want to intentionally stir the pot, but what have I got here as evidence to I want to be positive, I want to be optimistic, but I can't. So back to the point about Bristol City, even away from the tactics, Jack, the very basics were missing, the very basics, and I watched the way that we attacked. And I watched the way that we built. I say the way that we built. I don't think we did. There was nothing cohesive about it. There seemed to be no style of play, patterns of play. That's been a recurring theme throughout this season, right? But I put that down to injuries originally. But we can't keep blaming injuries. I don't think... Don't get me wrong. I don't think these players are world beaters, right? I don't think they're knocking on the door for the playoffs, but I think they're absolutely more than capable of being at least mid-table, not lingering down the bottom of the relegation zone. So I think there's been a lot of noise after that game of, these players, aren't good enough and da-da-da-da-da. But I still don't think we should be where we are. I think some of this is coachable. If you think about, for example, our comments, Jack, on the players prior to today, I think we can agree, and I think also it's a big frustration for the Yellow Army watching and listening. We've got the best striker in the league, being completely starved. There's some ridiculous aerial stat that Connor's told me that he's dropping in his Pinkin piece today about Josh Sargent. Vladan Kovacevic, I think we can agree also, and I think we might have even said in the podcast, is one of the best goalkeepers in the league.
He's shown it, yeah.
And thank God again that he is, because goodness gracious, would we be rock bottom without him. Harry Darling, you could say that's a brilliant bit of business, albeit there's been a couple of mistakes recently. Brilliant bit of business. Kenny McLean, fans like to debate about Kenny, but what you can't debate is our only leader, real leader, not by example, but actual leader. So much experience, international player, played at Premier League level. My point here, Jack, is there's enough of a spine to this team for it to be not lingering down the relegation zone. So I just like to, I think what I've noticed, and I'm sure we'll go into it, Jack, is Liam Manning has already started to kind of maybe say these players sort of thing, right? And I also think a lot of the fans are going, these players. I think it's very easy to criticise a group of people that haven't got a voice. And I don't think they're as shit as they're... Yes, they're playing shit at the moment. They'll say that. They'll know that. They don't need me to say that. But they are definitely coachable to being better than they are currently positioned in the league table.
I think, and I agree to an extent, and I think, in Kovacevic, in Sargent, even in an Oscar Schwartau, in a Darling, even in a Jack Stacey.
Oscar,
right?
Good again against Bristol, by the way.
We'll get on to him. I thought the post-match comments from Liam Manning were interesting. He's essentially chucked his players under the bus, and he's chucked his sporting director under the bus. In two ways. This is how I interpreted it, right?
Okay, fine.
Liam Manning said, and I think I pretty much quote verbatim, that some of his players are hiding. They're too nice. And
I'm really passionate about that point, so let's come back
and he said that the team needs work.
Yeah.
Okay, so Liam Manning says it needs a lot of work. I'm not going to hide from that. We've shown flashes, we've shown moments, but we haven't shown enough quality to win games. Have we got the composition right? I'm not sure. Well, it's a £55 million composition. It doesn't always correlate spending money with immediate results, especially when you look at what we've signed. We've got a lot of players who need time, but we need people available, and we can't forget that. And I think that's a key point. And I think we'll get on to Napa shortly. Let's try and keep this in a chronological order, and it's difficult to because there's so much wrong. But we've either got two issues here.
Hang on, are we talking about the chucking?
I'm talking about players and Manning.
But finish the chucking under the bus bit.
So he's chucked his sporting director under the bus by saying the team's not ready.
I think he certainly hinted at it. It wasn't a strong chuck under the bus, but
he's saying that the team's not where it needs to be.
Okay.
So that's on recruitment. And he said that the players aren't giving him what he thinks, and they're hiding and they're too nice. That's what he said, right? Those players, there's either two things. They're not good enough, or they can't listen to instructions because what Manning is saying that he's asking them to do isn't correlating to the pitch. So there's something going wrong there.
Why are they not following his instructions though? So it can't be that. I mean, God knows. Before I let you carry on, Jack, I need to talk about this nice comment. It's really got under my skin, that has, because these behaviours and managing a team of people. Leadership it's about example, and it's about you taking accountability. How many times have I come on this podcast talking about accountability and responsibility when the times are tough? Yes, you can talk about the reasons, and Liam Manning's got a point with regards to injuries, right? But you have to take accountability and responsibility. To come out saying we're too nice, well, that's because I would be looking in the mirror. I think he's being too nice. I think Liam, in his press conferences so far, has said all of the right things. I think he has, but maybe too nice. I hope today, it's his press conference today. By the time this podcast is out, the press conference, I think he needs to come out swinging and showing a bit of fight, a bit of desire, a bit of Roy Keane, if you like, because these players are currently, linked back to your previous point, they're not responding to what's currently being coached or told, right? Yeah. They're not following out instructions. They're not instilling that confidence, that belief. Right? But you have to look at yourself in the mirror. If your team is too nice, are you being too nice? It's so... Everything at the minute with this club is so accepting. It's so average. It's so meh. And that's where you need to stand up. You say, oh, do you know what? We're being too nice at the moment, and hey, maybe I'm being too nice at the moment. That's leadership. And yeah, anyway, sorry, I just that annoyed me, that comment. I have to say, it did.
Liam Manning, I like.
Me too.
And you don't become a bad coach overnight. Now,
correct.
Whether you agree with his style of football or not is another thing. But he has been successful at pretty much every place he's been.
Yes.
You don't become a bad coach overnight. There is this is definitely the biggest job he's had in terms of level of expectation, the amount you need to turn this ship around.
Yes.
Because I get the feeling that like we're the Manchester United of the Championship. We have been dominant in this league at times. We have walked this league at times. But now we are not that.
The times have changed.
The recruitment has been poor for a long while. We've handbrake turned whenever it's got difficult. That's the feeling I get. And with Manning, I'm like, has he lost a bit of his mojo? Because in his interviews, all I'm hearing is like, well, it's kind of more to life than football. And I get that. I'm on board with that. But I couldn't turn this ship around because I don't want to be in that position.
But if you're a player... But
it's all a bit like, we'll see what happens. It's I keep hearing behaviours.
Yeah, but so then about the nice comment, going back to the nice comment, like, how are your players going to respond to you being like that?
And I'll tell you what's too nice.
By the way, this
playing Ante Cianats every fucking
By the way,
week. Playing Mate, that's too nice. They are shit, right? Playing them over and over and over again in this system doesn't work.
They're currently shit. Do you know the difficult thing is, Jack? Me and you, we love a bit of I love a debate, don't we? Love a bit of ping pong. I can't challenge. I can't really come up against you today. I can't.
The stats were damning. 21 shots to 11. I mean, you were right. I think Kovacevic was once again our man of the match in terms of ratings. He kept us in from that being a 3-4-0. We had a couple of chances. Marcondes had a good one. I think Schwartau had a header.
Have to create more than that, though, don't you? And by the way, and Connor Southwell raised it, actually. Anyway. Sorry. Fucking hell. We are going to get onto the planning permission segment in a minute, by the way. It was a sad statement of affairs, right, with Oscar. I didn't make enough noise about him. I think over the last, and I know that we've been shit, so hear me out, right? But I really, really have been really pleased with Oscar Schwartau.
He's been great.
I think he is a real up and coming star for us, and I've been really impressed with the way in which, at 19 years old, a young guy from Denmark, he picks up the ball and he drives forwards with it. And he brings us up the pitch, and there was quite a sad moment against Bristol City, and I think it was there in the highlights where he brings the ball forwards. He does superbly well. Like it's like up in the air, and he kind of manages to kind of like keep control of it, then takes it, does kind of like a flip flop thing, like a Ronaldo. What do you call it? A
flip flap.
What flip flap? I never get that right. A flip flap. Takes it past two.
A flip flop.
But so he's taking it past 3 fucking players, and he's got no one to pass it to.
Yeah, they're all just going, oh, bloody hell, we're in their half. While Mate Jurisic sort of dawdling over the other side of the pitch. I remember being told, Chris, when we'd sold Marcelino Nunes to Ipswich Town, our most creative midfielder, that it's okay because we'll have lots of budget in January. And you said at the start of this podcast, maybe we're just going to grant it out until January.
That's what I currently... I mean, it's the only thing I can think is their current solution. But I'll tell you the reason why, Jack. Because as people have speculated, if Liam Manning goes this early, it does put Ben in a bit of a precarious position, right?
So this is where we come to.
Okay.
Ben Napper. Okay. Because it wasn't just we want Manning out, we want Webber out, we want the sort of, the tea lady out.
Adams,
right?
Yeah, it was everyone. Everyone was being called out.
It was Ben Napper. But there
was lots of calls, yeah.
That was the overarching chant. We want Napper out.
Yeah.
And it's hard to... I'm finding it hard to fight Ben Napper's corner.
Yeah.
We know Ben Napper, right?
Yeah.
We've spoken to him.
Yeah.
He's a very nice gentleman, right?
Yeah.
But has his recruitment been good enough? No, it's not. It's really not.
I think that the sun.
No, say what you
No,
think.
I know, and I absolutely will. That's why I said what I said at the start of the show, Jack. Yes, I agree with you. The recruitment has not been good enough, right? The thing that I would say is, and I think some of the signings this last summer, they've definitely been, not that that's difficult, they've been better than the previous window. Oh, hear me out. Not difficult to do, I know, right? They have been better though. Vladan, Harry Darling, from even those two alone, right? You go, okay, yeah, I get that. That makes sense to me. But we've signed players that have got injury records and strong injury records as well in Matthias Kvist-Gordon, who, by the way, I think is actually a really good player. But again, he's injured.
Yeah.
So we have to take that into account. Diallo again, like he had a really good game against Watford. But again, injury record not so good. Only played one 90-minute game last season. But yet we then didn't sign another winger to back him up.
No, we did. Jeffrey Schlupp.
Oh, fucking hell. I mean, God.
Well, we did sign another winger.
Holy moly. So I can't argue. I won't argue against it as well. The recruitment's not been good enough.
So,
and do you know what as well I will say, Jack, is there's praise, and rightly so, for Napa in terms of selling the players, right? Good at selling the players. I think he has been good at selling the players. But I think the real test comes in when he has to sell this current group of players.
His signings.
Yeah, because the players that we've signed so far, Adam Eder did really well out of Adam, pulled Celtic's pants down there. Abu Kamara, oh, by the way, thank God we got rid of him. Gabby Sarah, Borja Sainz, Johnny Rowe. But these are all like
Marcelino.
But what we're talking, not Abu. These are match winners.
Yeah.
Adam Eder, by the way, clutch, right? So comes up clutch. Getting quite modern in my old age. These are match winners. It's easy to sell match winners.
Yeah.
Try shifting some of the absolute shit.
Go on, give me a name.
I'm not going to give you.
No, go on.
I good luck, because the squad is already bloated, and by the way, thank God, because the injuries have been so much. But we're going to have to sign and invest big in January, right? The most expensive window. It's well known for that. It's difficult to get players out of clubs in January that are actually good. But we're going to have to sell to sign, though, not because we have to make money, but because our squad's already too big.
Well,
all of a sudden we're going to be like Chelsea, and we have like 55,000 players in our books.
The reason I've got to the stage of I think we need change is I don't trust this current system, this current regime
to turn it around.
To
sign the players to turn it around.
If I gave Ben Napper 50 million quid in January, I wouldn't trust him to spend it correctly. And I wouldn't, and I'm not just putting it on him, I'm putting it on the recruitment team that's been built. The data's obviously not being used in the correct manner.
Well,
the fact that we're coming up with, Eurosec, Searnats.
Lots of the recruitment team have left, Jack. I think that's the important point you should put into the room.
What, sacked or left?
Left. Kieran Scott, Middlesbrough.
Oh, I see. Like the ones that came up with the match with.
As a key example.
There are players who are injured.
Yeah.
That will be coming back soon. Do any of these fix our problems?
Okay,
here's a Ben Napper signing. Anis Ben Slimane. Tried to shift him in the summer, couldn't. No one wanted him.
No.
Shane Duffy. Gabe Forsyth.
Too young.
Emmanuel Forson.
I mean, Green Banana.
Ben Crescene.
Might come good in the end. Ben Crescene. I like Ben a lot, actually. I do. But is he going to change the course of direction on his own? Because he's not a match winner? No.
Chris Gordon comes straight back in, I think, and so does Diallo.
I think Chris Gordon could hugely improve the connectivity between the midfield and Josh Sargent. And again, I think Diallo, we're desperate for width. Obviously we are.
So I think and the reason the reason I bring that point up is I think we keep having an excuse. We're not looking internally. The recruitment hasn't been good enough.
Yeah.
Which means the players haven't been good enough.
Yeah.
They're not being coached in a manner that's effective.
Correct.
And, everyone else is pissing the fans off by fucking around with the stage. We have to look internally, because if we keep going, if we're so unlucky with all the injuries, if we've only had enough...
And we are.
We're not unlucky.
No, we are.
We're not unlucky.
No, I know, but hang on, right? But hang on. Because you look at this injury list. The point is, right, with that injury list, and I think you've well raised it there, Jack. We're going to go from losses to maybe draws if those players come back.
So at this point, right, we have lost 6 home games. We've got 8 points in 10.
Okay.
I think we've won like 1 home game in about 15 years.
What are the next fixtures?
Well, no, before that.
Okay, right.
At what point?
Oh God.
Do the Atanasios, the Norfolk Holdings Group come in here and go, something needs to change?
Because
I thought it might have been post East Anglian Derby Day defeat, first time in 16 years. I thought it might have been against Liam Manning's former club when we've lost 6 in a row. Will it be after Derby? Or then we'll go to Swansea and we might lose. Then we've got Hull at home. Could that be our first Carrow Road win? And then we go to bottom place Sheffield Wednesday.
Do you think, and I think what you're leaning into there, Jack, is that this is a case of when they have to get involved and make big change versus if? Is that what you're suggesting?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's well raised. We, at the weekend, it wasn't just Liam Manning. I actually almost think, fans sort of sarcastically clapped along with Bristol City's Manning chance, didn't they? Which, gallows humour you're going to expect at this stage. And I don't blame the fans, because at this stage, what have you got to cling on to? But a lot of it was, chance for Napper's head, so to speak, and also I think what's coming next, Jack, is I'm forecasting this at the Hull game. I think then the pressure then turns to the ownership. It does, because they've already, the fans are like resigned on the current setup with the players and the coach. I honestly think it's the majority probably have, right? God, it fucks me off. I've just said that, but it's true. I think the majority have. Again, not much to believe in. The fans have already, in the last home game, turned their frustrations to Napper. Well, after that, it's going to be, right, where are you, Norfolk Holdings Group? And they'll be wanting them. And this is an appropriate point for me to say, and again, at risk of, I've got to keep some conversations private, and I will keep it private, Jack. But the thing I will say to people here, in light of the criticism that I know has come and will continue to come about our channel during the tough times, is, trust me, I have told Norfolk Holdings Group exactly the current situation at Norwich City. I've told them exactly what's going on. I presented them with the data. They'll have that anyway. I've told them how the majority of you guys are feeling. That's all I'll say. And I think it's at the point where they will need to fly themselves over and deal with this, because it is getting to bin fire territory. Everywhere you look, Jack. Everywhere you look. The stadium redevelopment saga, which we haven't touched upon today, and maybe we will towards the end of this conversation. What a shit show in terms of how that was managed from start to finish, by the way. The manager is not coaching these players well enough, right? The players. You could go on and on and on. I don't think we're over-dramatising this, Jack. I don't want to. I want to be positive, optimistic. Everywhere you look, every corner of Norwich City that you look at the moment, I think that's a problem to fix. That's a problem to fix. That's underperforming. That's nowhere near it should be. That was dealt with like shit. So Norfolk Holdings Group, I think it's only a matter of time before you're gonna need to step in.
I think the only look, you have to try and look positive here, and I think
we try.
Let me start again. Okay. I think as a fan, you have to cling on to something, and you have to go, something might turn, something might shift. And I think Manning will be hoping that as well. He will be hoping that
obviously
his patterns and coaching methods come through at some stage. I look at these next 4 fixtures, right, which should be an opportunity. Derby away, I think they're below us. Swansea away, mid-table. Hull at home, again, similar position, although they did win at the weekend. Sheffield Wednesday away, currently bottom. Right?
I need to apologise to you, because last week you said Derby was a 6-pointer, and I laughed. I laughed, and I'm so sorry. Because actually you were right.
But this is the thing, I don't want to be...
It is a 6-pointer.
I think people think I'm being sarcastic. I'm not, because I've seen it happen with Birmingham, with Luton in recent seasons, where they go, it won't happen. We won't go down. There's worse teams. We're established in the Championship. Hey, even look, recently we had Premier League football. We can't get relegated to League One. It happens.
You don't want to drift into it.
It fucking happens.
I know.
Right?
And if you look, and again, let's... I haven't got it to hand. Maybe I'll try to do that next week. But there's enough of it out there. The data says we are trending towards relegation. So, yeah.
And the other thing is like, okay, maybe the data says something, but have we got a bit of spice, a bit of something that could pull us out of it? No, I don't think we do.
But there's no spice.
But that's the thing. I look at this squad. I'm looking at something to cling on to. Is it squad? Is it coach? Is it just pure money that will just buy us out of it?
And by the way, this is my point with January. I think that is the only thing that can solve this. I think the Americans are going to have to spend big in January to solve this.
I don't trust us to spend it. And I don't look at this squad. I don't see someone in that squad that can pull us out of it.
So, I mean, Sargent is, but he's
not got the ball.
Correct. I agree. Hang on, I don't think I'm wrong on this. I'm sure Connor told me, or I've read somewhere, that we had 13 touches in the Bristol City box. So those fixtures, Jack, right? Derby, right? This is going to be really telling, mate. Because Norwich City are better away from home. Okay? Derby are shit. Okay? Now, Derby fans with their heads screwed on will agree with me on this, right? But by the way, let me, I'm just holding the mirror up. If they're shit, so are we, right? It's like the El Shitico, isn't it, right? It is. Do you know what? Tomorrow night, the El Shitico, who is going to come out on top, right? Derby's record's bad.
Level on points with us.
We've got the worst record in the league in terms of form, right? Currently, I'm sure we have, because we've lost more, and I think we've got one draw in there maybe in the last 5, something like that. Try and just look at it. So if we don't come out of Derby with a draw, okay, at best, by the way, like I'm hoping we get a draw, because I think we'll lose. But if we get a draw, it might mean we can scrape. Oh, fucking hell! I actually can't even believe what I'm saying. Because at Swansea, what's the result there?
Well, we get beat.
Okay, Hull at home. And that for me is where I go from Apple. That's where I go.
Hull are 10th.
Hull
have got double the points.
And hold me to account to this, Yellow Army. All right, that's where I go from laughing if not you'll cry back to anger. Losing to Hull at home, holy moly!
Well,
I do not want us to be in that position. And then Sheffield Wednesday away, and they're not even paying their players on time. Could you imagine losing to them?
I think I'm at that point of anger.
I can tell. About time I saw some passion from you.
No, I am, because the wastage of money makes me feel ill.
Yeah, it's
like it actually makes me feel ill. The manner of some of those performances on Saturday made me feel sick. From some of those individuals that we've paid good money for. Mm. And the treatment of the fans, and we're not affected in this, other than we don't get to swear at the away fans as much, right?
Well, no, and the atmosphere.
And the amount of, more elderly fans that my family know, or it's like a friend's grandma, that have sat in the River End, renewing.
Yes.
That's their thing of the week,
yes.
Right?
Yes.
They don't leave the house much. They get to go to Carrow Road, and they see their pals, and they watch the football.
Yes.
And they're going, because we've got these prawn sandwich seats that are going in, good luck selling those against Stevenage, right, next season.
By the way, did you see on Saturday that someone took a picture?
Yeah.
They're all empty anyway.
And now, those people have to move because of someone in finance, because it might make a few extra quid. That is the point. And I'm a capitalist, right? I get it. No, but I get where football is going, and I'm okay with that. But timing, execution. If they'd have put a survey out and listened to the fans and then done it,
or teased it, do you know what I mean? If you had to move your seat, where would you go?
It's just so brain dead.
Are you buying the survey nonsense as well? They're saying, "Oh no, there would have been too many opinions." That's the point of a bloody survey. Surely they could.
I heard that and I just went, you know what?
They do a survey every match day. How was your experience?
I heard that and I just went,
that's bollocks.
I can't be arsed.
The survey thing is bollocks.
I can't be arsed.
Oh God! And by the way, the thing that I didn't realise until I asked the question, because I couldn't believe what I was hearing, the capacity has now been reduced by 500 people for this, and that's a fact. What? So we've reduced our capacity, and I tell you what, it'll be. you're right, Jack. I think we should talk about this more because it would be very easy for us as Barclay enders to sit here and go, nah, it's all right.
And actually,
it's just a no. This is really serious.
Very briefly, because we've seen the benefits of stadium redevelopment. The Lion Castle is brilliant.
Yes,
I like it in there.
Yes,
I can go in there early. I can watch the football. I can get a late.
So we want that for other supporters too. We want that.
Of course.
Yes, and I agree with you in terms of like. We want the stadium redeveloped. We want the facilities to be improved. Our supporters deserve the best facilities, right? But if the unthinkable, starting to think about it, happens, right? Who are the people that will still, come rain or shine, renew their season tickets, pay the most expensive price, Premier League prices in League One? Who would it be? It would be the people in the River End. The people in the River End. The people in the River End. They're the people that clap after a game if we've been shit and lost 3 or 4-0. They stand there and they clap the players. And they renew their season tickets. And and the fact that they've not bought them on the journey is so bad. The event that the club held as well, Jack, by the way, which was, I think that happened since our last podcast.
Yeah.
They did like this retrospective event, didn't they? Where it's like, right, we're going to now give the fans a place to vent their anger, and holy shit, they did. And I'm pleased that they did. One gent asked a question and walked out. There was booze, there was chants of, you don't know what you're doing. It was hostile. I'm not surprised. And I almost just think, like, why did you even do that? And also say something else, right, Jack? Actually, do I need to say that? I'm not sure.
Let's move on.
Where was the opposition? Where was the opposition?
Well, they didn't allow an opposition in terms of the.
But why? But the people. I'm sorry, but the people that were told about this originally, why didn't they share with the Norwich fans? Just to let you know, we've been told this is happening and we're not happy about it.
Because I think the issue comes, Chris, it was presented as like, this is happening.
Yeah, but they could have... oh, fuck me, mate. I don't even... The whole thing is a complete
I think
mess.
Whether it's stadium redevelopment,
mess.
Whether it's recruitment, whether it's coaching, whether it's being too nice, I think this is where I've fallen, right? It has come to a point where we've got a load of people just going, oh, good job, well done, yeah, no, I agree with that. Yeah, good idea. Yeah, push that through. Yeah, great stuff. And everyone's scared.
We've got a team full of yes men.
We've got a team full of yes men. That's exactly what we've got. And this is why
no one's positively challenging.
I cannot believe, and I know that Mark Atanasio speaks to Ben on the phone every day. Mike's gone quiet on Twitter. I like Mike, right? He's gone silent. He's gone off the radar. We need to hear from the Atanasios. Yeah. I cannot believe for the absolute life of me that Norfolk's holding group hasn't got someone on the ground here. They haven't even got to sit on the board. I don't care what they do. Just going, is that the right call? Is this the right call? Just questioning.
Yeah.
Just something, because that is not happening. And that has been an accumulation ever since Stuart Webber went, actually, because he had a brilliant run, Stuart Webber, and he went off grid and then he wanted to climb mountains. Ever since that point, it's been unravelling. And we've got away with it because we've had a Science, we've had a Sarah, we've had a Johnny Rowe that can cling us, right?
Yeah.
Now we can't get away with it. We're exposed, and we're scrapping, and we're not landing punches, and we're on the canvas. And this is the issue we've got. We've got a bunch of yes men and women, right, on that board. We've got players who are incompetent, and we've got a coach that doesn't know how to transition.
So you talk about that word incompetent, okay? Something that my client introduced me to this week. I had no idea that this was a thing until this week, and he told me about this terminology called the Peter Principle. Have you heard of the Peter Principle? Do you know what the Peter Principle is? Here we go. So the Peter Principle is this. It's the idea that people will be promoted to a point where they are no longer qualified, leaving a company full of incompetent employees.
Cool. Wow.
So there are a lot.
So you're saying there's a few Peters.
So what I'm saying is there's actually a lot of really competent people at Norwich City, right? I'm not sure. I think it's just got to the point though, Jack, where years of poor decisions, which have hurt us, wasted money, things that haven't been. It's got to the point now that I think the Peter principle has affected Norwich City, where I think there are too many people in positions of power that, quite frankly, aren't doing enough. They're not doing enough. And I'm so aware of the fact that's me off the Christmas card list, but do something then. Do something about this, because it's unacceptable. I'm seeing that fan event last week over the stadium redevelopment plans. I'm seeing what's happening on the pitch. I'm hearing that the Americans haven't got someone on the ground at Norwich City. Is there anyone positively challenging, as I like to say, disagreeing? Not to be a prick, but to say, are you sure about this? Well, maybe they are, but they have no power. My point is, the Peter principle has taken effect at Norwich City. And I think it is going to take so much change internally to... I mean, it all comes from the top. And what we're seeing on the pitch all comes from the top. And it's so easy for people to blame Liam Manning. And it's so easy for people to blame the players. But the truth is, it's actually the people behind the scenes. It starts and ends with them. They are fully accountable to what the fans are currently enduring on the pitch every weekend. And that's where it's going to be tough. Really tough. Because it's easy-ish to sell a player that's not good enough. Yeah, cut price. We've spent whatever 8 million on him. Yeah, we'll have to just get rid of him for 1 million. I mean, that's difficult, but easy enough. Changing people internally, that's going to hurt some feelings. And I am essentially calling out the Norfolk Holdings Group here. You're going to have to hurt some feelings, boys, because this is so unacceptable. This isn't a flash in the pan. This isn't us overhyping it. Look at every single data point. We are staring League One down the barrel.
I couldn't put it better myself. Let's get some questions from the viewers. Richard Francis says, concern on players stepping up and fighting, worrying to hear Manning say there's a few he believes will do it and far too many that he believes he won't. That was in the Radio Norfolk interview, wasn't it? Is this a case of the dressing room losing the manager rather than the other way around? Has he lost faith in the players he has at his disposal?
That's a really interesting point. Really interesting point.
And that's almost a bigger concern, because if your manager doesn't have faith in the players, then you're going to have to. You can't sack all the players.
I think it sounds like after Liam Manning's post-match comments after Bristol City, it certainly sounds like he's lost faith in his group. So actually, I've never thought about it like that. It's normally like you say, like the players lose faith in their manager, but actually, yeah, you're right. Maybe Liam Manning has lost faith in his players, because I mean, look, it certainly sounds like it from his post-match. Maybe he was just really, sad and upset and pissed off after the Bristol City game, but that is a bloody concern. His comments indicate he's lost faith in this current group. But that, even in January, Jack, you can't completely fix it in January, can you? And can we afford to wait that long? I mean, I could go on and on. That is a really well-raised point, and it's bloody concerning.
Robert Eagleton says, rant, if Napa doesn't sack Manning now, we are relegated. It's a shambles he was not sacked in the international break. Napa clearly wants to delay as long as possible to make the 4-year deal less embarrassing. Napa is risking our relegation to hold on to his job. And Robert, I think, look, is Liam Manning, this is almost what makes it tougher. This isn't an individual thing.
It's not.
It's a collective.
Yes.
A lot of the players aren't good enough.
Yes.
The recruitment and the way that the sporting director has led this club hasn't been good enough. The coaching style hasn't been good enough. The day-to-day running of the football club hasn't been good enough. It's easier for us to go, we want Manning out and the players aren't good enough, because that's who we're exposed to. We can see the day-to-day work of that.
Yeah.
What we can't see is the data behind the recruitment and what they're doing day-to-day. And also, I don't know who takes over Ben Napa, because I'm not studying the fucking sporting directors available in the UK right now. So it's easier to say that. But I genuinely believe for Norwich City to move forwards and have a upward trajectory in the next 5 years, we need complete and utter root and branch change.
But we've had that on the pitch. Fucking hell. Right, so with this relegation point, Jack, we have to address it now, because so many people are saying it. We can't hide from it. We can't run from it. We're staring down the barrel. Data-wise, we are trending towards relegation territory, okay? We're 10 games in. Are we over-exaggerating this?
No, because I think we're under-exaggerating. That's a big enough sample size to take. That's a quarter of a season. So yes, it's early days, and yes, things might change. And look...
By the way, what a bloody turnaround it would be from this point, because the majority of people are done. They are.
Look, I think... I don't know.
Like seriously, I think Robert has raised it, and I think we should address it. Like, can you actually think? You actually think we could get sucked into it?
We're already in it. There's no sucking us in. We're in it.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. We're in it.
Next question is from Falcon17.
Hello, Falcon.
Rant/plea. We've never had a plea. The last few years, there have been far too many directions. From Webber to Napper, Farker to Smith, Wagner to JHT to now Liam Manning. We just have not had the opportunity to consolidate. You know, I think this is an important point, Jack. I think there's a lot of noise about what's going on now, but I think it's important to factor in why we've got to this point.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I think the flip-flopping, the years of flip-flopping from top level to on the pitch to coaches to styles of play, we're this, we're that, we're doing this, we're that, experienced players to young players, all of this stuff, that's now reared its ugly head, right? Because if you flip-flop that much, you end up with a team that's staring League One down the barrel.
Yeah.
Has the flip-flopping been the reason why we're here?
Well, I mean, it's bad decision making that has got us here, and you know, I keep harping back to that fan forum, and there was a good mood in the place pre-season.
Yeah, there was.
Manning and Atanasius.
And rightly so, by the way.
But it was clear as day. They said the expectation is top six. Yeah. Anything below that is a failure.
Yeah, they did.
Well,
say
they're not getting top six, so this season is already a failure.
Well, what is this? Because this isn't just a failure.
But
Jack.
what I would say is, like, you know, whether it was Wagner or Dean Smith and the sacking of Farker, like, I'm sure you can pinpoint a bad decision in every one of those, whether it was the sacking or the hiring. I still come back to the point, and we sat on a live podcast last season in this very studio discussing the sacking of Johannes Hoff-Torup, and I was surprised because, yes, it hadn't been great. He was incredibly exposed.
Yeah.
And my God, did the data look good compared to what it does now.
Yeah.
We're not heading in the right direction. There is nothing indicating that this might change. And that's the thing.
Yeah.
I can't go, oh, well, we've got a key player out. I can't go, well, we're actually underperforming in front of goal, or, oh, the keeper's underperforming. Everything is indicating to a downwards trend. And there's not much further we can go down in this division.
Who can?
And one more thing.
Nick McCarthy moment there.
One more thing.
Come on, then.
I keep hearing, well, actually, I don't keep hearing it. I've heard it a few times. League One was fun last time.
Oh, don't go there. Don't even
and
bring it up.
And I tell you what I heard once as well.
It's
the
awful.
Championship's good fun.
It's awful.
The Championship is good fun when Emi Buendia is feeding Timu Puki and you're robbing the league.
The
fucking Championship isn't fun.
Do you remember people saying we win more games in the Championship?
The Championship isn't fun when you're losing 6 in a row. And I tell you what also won't be fun is if we're in League One and going to Gillingham on a Tuesday night in a stand made of scaffolding, getting pissed upon and watching Mate Jurisic up front. That won't be fun. Right? So let's not paint this romantic picture of League One.
But people did that with the Championship.
It's not fun.
People did that with the Championship. Don't do it. Don't even go there.
I tell you what's
it's
fun.
It's not fun. It's
winning football
awful.
matches.
Yes.
Winning football matches
Yes.
in whatever division you're in is fun.
This is the most liked contribution off the back of the podcast post. It's from Ian Gabelli. He says, since August, I've said this time and time again, the players just aren't that good.
And fair play to him because he has been saying it, even when we were fucking releasing no Papa, no Party t-shirts. All right?
Well, hang on. That's true. There is no Papa and there's no Party.
And they are nice t-shirts.
They are.
But Ian was saying, I don't actually know if these players are good enough. So fair play to Ian. I'll give him his flowers.
There's nothing about them. No personality, no fight, and a lack of quality. Will happily be proven wrong, but I can't see any manager doing anything with this squad. It's all on Napper. So he's putting all of the blame on Ben Napper.
You know what?
I mean, ultimately, he is accountable for most of it, isn't he?
I can't put all of the blame on Napa because I think
some of it is.
There's a lot of what Napa, the way that he operates, I like, and I do like Ben Napa, and I think he's a good person, and I think we have got good humans in the football club.
Yes,
that's one point. I mean, that doesn't make for a good football team necessarily, but I do think that 75% of the blame comes at Napa's door, yes.
Christine is also on the same note as Ian because she says, statement, should the club decide to sack Manning, this will simply not solve the entire problem. The problem lies much deeper than that and will only mask the problems at board level. So lots of people are now turning their attention to the board, aren't they? And to be fair, it's partly caused, Jack, by the consistent own goals. And the biggest own goal was this stadium redevelopment stuff.
This is a great point from Gibb, and this is the point that I've trying to be making. And when we speak to and I speak to people far cleverer than myself, this is the point that they always come back to, and it's boring, but it's true. How and why, as a club, are we still operating without a CEO/chairman? Day to day, Ben Napa, Zoe Webber, and Neil Adams don't directly answer to anyone in this country. For a club the size of Norwich City, this is unacceptable.
Okay.
I agree.
Is Zoe not meant to be the I don't know, yeah, good point.
I think you need like a...
I don't know, actually. Good point, I don't know.
Someone to,
good point, I don't know.
I just think, and I don't know for sure, but it's my feeling, and it's kind of what I get told. I don't get a sense that there's any questioning.
Yeah, I'm feeling that too. Well, there's some Shakespeare Canary. It's a new problem. You ready for a new problem?
No.
Here we go. Question. Why do we seem to be ignoring our academy players? Are these players not good enough as well? It's pretty evident.
Well, I think we've had a change in tact of how we want to develop and recruit.
They've signed loads of new players for the youth teams, haven't they?
I mean, what I would say, and it comes back to your point earlier, good luck finding your next £10 million sale away from Josh Sargent. There's not a single player on the current landscape that Ben Napa has signed that will go anywhere near that.
Just a random thing that's just popped into my head. Fair play to Liam Gibbs. Just random thing I want to bring up.
Yeah, good shout.
Fair play to Liam Gibbs. Because after the Bristol City shit show, which and it's not, it wasn't 3 or 4-0 obviously, but it was the 6th home loss in a row. Sixth home loss in a row. Liam Gibbs goes up to the snake pit and has a conversation. And the fact that you've got Liam Gibbs, of all people, actually saying, do you know what? Yeah, I'm going to hear out these supporters. Don't get me wrong. I'm not really sure, whether he got any fruits to his labour there. But actually, fair play to Liam Gibbs for actually facing up to it properly and actually being like, no, do you know what? Yeah, this isn't good. I'm going to go over. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure a few things were said to him that weren't very nice. But fair play to Liam Gibbs for actually talking to Norwich fans. Because I think we are at players talking to fans territory now.
You're in the shit when that started to happen.
Yeah, especially one of your younger players. I think it's a really good point.
Niall Richards, this statement. It's May 2027. It's a nice sunny day in Norwich.
Okay, right.
The Wenson corner is rocking as Tony Springett rifles in his second of the game as Norwich City Football Club fight back from 2-0 down to secure League One safety on the final day against Walsall. Better times are ahead. Tony Springett, good to see him back.
Yeah, I'm going to bring something up, yeah. What a sad state of affairs where I'm standing in the Barclay singing There's Only One Tony Springett as he was warming up.
It's good to see him back, though.
By the way, where is he on the calendar?
It's probably next month.
We've got George Long.
Who's next month?
Kellen, to be fair.
Okay.
That's the first time we've had a good player. And then it's Archie Mayer. Got to laugh, haven't you? What's next, Jack? Every single, but I'm scrolling through here, and there's not a single. It's the first time ever. There's not a single positive. What about this from Jack? He says, statement. In the first half, I spent more time watching Chris scrape off the moss on the wall of the lower Barclay than I did the football. Really sums it up. Yes, Jack, you're right. I was so bored so bored that I decided to pick the moss off the wall in the Barclay.
You're doing your Carrow. You're doing your bit for the Carrow redevelopment.
I'm now head of renovations. Whore. I just thought, there's lots of talk of stadium renovations, and it was actually
marginal gains.
And do you know what? It's an actual something on this, right? Okay, so you've next to you've spent a few seasons now.
Yeah. So
when you're a bit bored, you kind of like flick the moss off the wall, don't you?
So context.
Yeah, come on, tell people.
We sit in the lower Barclay, Block E, right against the wall.
Yeah, next to the away fans.
For a bit longer, right?
Yeah.
And it drips.
Yes.
The roof drips and it comes onto the wall.
Because we've got a leaky roof.
And it generates a lot of moss on the wall.
Yeah.
Now through nervous times and through boredom...
That was your stress management.
I will get rid of the moss. So my sort of 3-foot section is spotless. Chris's section is disgusting. And you've moss growing everywhere.
Yeah, you've been telling me for years.
Chris, just keep your bit in check and Carrow will be a delight. After probably 6 seasons of telling you, mate, you need to sort that out. You finally got round to it.
Yeah. I got
20p out.
Yeah, I got 20p
and you were
out.
Scraping.
Yeah, I was scraping. And you can't blame me. It's a risk to my health. Do you know what also really wound me up? I had a couple of absolute jobs worths staring at me doing it from down below, clearly like staff members or whatever. And I was thinking to myself, it's a risk to my health to be standing next to a wall that's got moss all over it, and I'm leaning up against it. It's got moss all over it, right? And I was thinking to myself, am I going to get kicked out here? And I started thinking, what am I going to tell the wife?
Well, that would be a bloody good job.
Could you imagine that? If I say she'll say, what did you get kicked out for? That's so bad, Chris. And I'd say, I got kicked out for cleaning the stadium. I mean, it's just, the whole thing is just mental. The fact that I was so bored at what we were seeing that I spent a lot of time in the first half picking the moss off the wall sums up the state of this football club.
I agree.
Can we finish this podcast?
Yeah,
I don't want to do this anymore. I actually don't want to do this anymore. I'm actually close to resigning from Talk Norwich City.
I really appreciate everyone's comments.
Yeah, there are loads.
What I would say that I don't think it's apathy. I think we are in a period of frustration and anger.
Yes.
And
it's
really
going to get worse. And it's going to get worse, by the way.
And you know what? I think it is.
Yeah.
Liam Manning will be here for Derby. I think we get beat. Norwich City in 3 weeks' time will be in the relegation.
Mate, just quickly, name of the week. We haven't had that in a while. Ryan Goldspink Burgess.
What a name.
What a fucking name that is, by the way. Imagine your name being so good that you triple barrel it on your... you know what, Ryan? Fair play to you, mate. Statement. I don't even know where to start to fix this now. Ryan Goldspink Burgess. That's the name of the week. Twitchy Terry. Bit of a shit show this here, lads. Can't remember the club looking this wildly disjointed in a long, long time.
I think that just finally, as we finish, we've been doing this a long while, and sadly, I felt as if we kind of experienced most things, and that's why sometimes I come on here and I'm a bit maybe lethargic because I'm I've seen this play out. It ends in X means Y, and it'll be fine, right? This is unknown territory for me discussing it as a channel. I think we have been in a similar spot before when we got relegated to League One. I actually don't think it was as bad then.
The channel started in the Championship, didn't it? The channel started in the Championship, not League One.
Well, it started in the Premier League under Lambert, right? So what I would, and this is I don't know the answers other than I think we need change, but I don't know who to replace these people with. And I suspect if you're the Atenasios, you're in unknown territory as well.
Yeah, of course they are.
You don't know what the answers
are. Of course.
You know that you've got access to good people, but it doesn't mean they're going to be good in a Championship club fighting for their lives. There will come a point when this turns and it will be okay again and we'll be on an upward trajectory. But I do...
Yeah, but when?
That's the thing. I do think this gets a lot worse before it gets better.
Let me just give you
really do think
and
that.
a little reality check. I know you're trying to finish. A little reality check. I think look, we've spoken about this podcast before. We are now Stoke, Swansea, West Brom. Those teams that had plenty of ample chance. By the way, Stoke did all right, by the way, but plenty of ample chance in the Premier League to make it. Again, shit decisions end up where we are today, right? That's history. But the reality, Jack, is going to come in January because who are we going to sign that's going to be attracted to joining a club in a relegation battle?
Sargent's gone.
If Sargent doesn't go in January, I will be stunned. And by the way, I don't blame him. And it hurts me to say that, right? So then we've got to replace him. They'll probably just put Matthias Kvistgården up front, won't they? So who's going to be attracted to club in January? And also, everyone's talking about, Liam Manning. I'm reading that people want Danny Roll. Mate, Danny Roll's not coming to Norwich City. Fair play. I hope I'm wrong. I hope the Americans cake him up in cash but who? Yes, we've got amazing training facilities, and that's definitely coming into play, right? But who are they realistically going to bring in, Jack, at this stage of the season to change our fortunes around? We said before this season started, we needed a fast start. The start has been a car crash. And we can't, and it's easy to sell Ferraris, right? Try selling fucking Peugeots.
Where the wheels are hanging off.
Yeah.
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 We have had a car crash and there's no courtesy cars available. Alright?
Yeah, and now we're riding on donkeys.
Who are running out of water desperately.
Yes. Seriously, please, if anyone important is listening to this, please do something. It's like that. Have you seen that meme? That stick. Do something. Please, because we're in a bad way.
I tell you what will cheer you all up. Me doing a watch along for the Derby game on Tuesday. I'm sure that will delight you all and will be absolute.
There might be one for the Sheffield Wednesday game as well, which will be fun.
Look, thanks for your time. And look, thanks for watching at home and thanks for expressing your opinions, whatever way they may be.
If you've got to this point, fair play, congratulations. Are you okay? I really hope that you're making the most of the 20% off Laken's description in the description below. And also, if you've got to this point, you are a true Talk Norwich City legend. And I want you to use the hashtag #SortItOutCity. Hashtag #SortItOutCity. That's the hashtag I want to see all over social media. We'll share all of them as a thanks for your support.
Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.